There it is. All right, good people. Man, listen. Welcome to an exclusive. I know most of the time y'all would see something, y'all would have a whole lot of, listen, man. 2022 is a year about being on go at all times. And so I am super excited about the gentleman that we have tonight because this guy is not only talking about entrepreneurship, not only coaching about entrepreneurship, but one of the things that he does is he's constantly pulling back the curtain so that people can actually see the game, the work, the strategies, the pieces that he's putting in place in real time. And what's crazy is he's just getting started. It ain't even like really gotten to the levels that he's trying to get to. Y'all know who I'm already talking about. Y'all done seen all the stuff already posted. So we here, we live. Listen, man, all the way from Atlanta, Georgia. I want to say y'all need to go crazy. Y'all need to hit him up. Y'all need to make sure that everybody knows, put this on your stories or whatever. But man, listen, Mr. Sleepers for Suckers, you know himself, Mr. David Shands is in the building. David, man, welcome. Thank you.
Man, what's going on? How are you? Happy to be here. How you doing?
Absolutely,
Yo, do
man.
me a favor. Send me this link, man, because thank you so much, baby. Send me this link because I think this is a little too important for us not to. Now I gotta share it out to my audience because we live right now.
Yep.
Send me that link. If you can you send it to me in my DM?
I'm doing it right now,
Yeah.
brother.
I'm about to, or maybe yeah. Throw me the link. I'm about to give him the swipe up, man, because we about to get a game. I got
Yes,
some
sir.
stuff to talk about, man. I got a lot to get off my chest.
Good, man. Well, there's the link right there. I just shot it to you.
I'm
So
in.
go ahead and make
Man.
sure you put that up. And listen, for those who are watching right now, here's what we need you to do. Share, like, what matter of fact, what I want you to do is share and drop, the link and tell somebody, hey, pull up. Pull up right now. As y'all know, I like to say, get your ear hustle on. Grab your popcorn if you're watching on YouTube. But I'm gonna tell you right now, it's something about Dave about being in the moment, right? Like snatching an opportunity in the moment as opposed to letting your fear and whatever else psychoanalyze the moment and miss an opportunity, right? I know you're real big on a lot of community. We're going to dive into all of that, but I just want everybody to know right now, like, listen, it's going to be a lot of gems drop. And if I
Absolutely.
had that DJ Khaled air horn, I would have one for you tonight because it's going to be a lot of those. But here's the thing. If you're watching a replay of this, make sure you tell somebody. In fact, if you got another entrepreneur friend or somebody else who's building a side business with you, y'all need to listen together. And then you need to go back and go, okay, what can we implement based on what we heard? Where do we need to step up our game? What things and tips and strategies do we need to start looking at in order to be able to build effectively? All right. So listen, I am super, super excited. So let's get started, man. We good? You live on your end?
Good. I'm here. Let's get it.
All
Let's
right,
get
man.
it. Let's get it
So
work.
first and foremost, tell everybody where you're from. Give us an understanding of your business, what you actually do, and then, man, we're gonna tap in.
Yeah, good. So my name is David Shands. I am an entrepreneur. First and foremost, I'm a podcaster. Okay. I really believe in sharing a message if you have one. You know what I mean? I think all of us have been through something in our lives, or we've been we've experienced some things, or we've learned some things, and we fell and we figured some things out. And I think it's an obligation to be able to share that stuff with the world, but also from a selfish standpoint, I think everybody needs a podcast because you need a soundboard sometimes where you can just you can like free your voice from the bondage and shackles of Instagram, where you can only give a couple a line on Twitter, or you can give a 60-second video. But I'm talking about when you can get things off of your chest and out into the world. I think it's really, really important. So I have a podcast. I teach podcasters, and I'm a community builder. We got a community that gathers every single morning. Hundreds and hundreds of entrepreneurs that gather every single morning to learn how to become more successful in multiple different areas of your life. But I grew up in Willingboro, New Jersey, moved to Morrow, Georgia, and went to school at Alabama A&M, then came back to Georgia. So that's a little bit of my story.
Gotcha. Well, what's funny is, I lived Clayton County, stand up. That's where I
Clayco,
was. Yeah,
okay,
yes, sir.
okay.
My brother's in Austell, so I'm always
Mhm.
down that way. So down in these streets in Atlanta. So
Oh, for sure, for sure.
here's where I want to start. I want to start. There was a point in time where David Shands was not Mr. Sleepers for Suckers. There was a time where David Shands was, I even want to start before like Cheesecake Factory. And I want you to get in a little bit about that. But like, who was David before you got to where you got to? But who actually was David? What was his mentality? What was he doing? What kind of things? What was that daily routine like? What was the fears, the doubts? Like who were you at that time?
Well, I will say I was a follower, and quite honestly, even now I am a follower. So I think we're all followers in some respect because we will, we, our environment will change us before we change it. Meaning, like our environment creates our reality. So if you're around a whole bunch of rappers, let's say, or a whole bunch of singers, you are going to rap or sing. Period. You're gonna jump in a cipher at some point and think you nice. If you if you're around an environment of people who sell drugs, at some point you're gonna give something to somebody, hold something for somebody. You're gonna flip something. I know somebody that got a little something, and I did that. So I've always followed my environment, and because I understood that I've always been a follower and that I'm still a follower now, all I have to do is get in the environment that I'm okay following and get around some other people that I'm okay following. So I would never ever follow somebody that's not following somebody else
Mm.
because you've already captured potential. In the way I see it, I'll soon be past you. I'll soon be where you are, that you can't teach me anything. So I'm not following somebody that's not constantly growing by following somebody else. So, but to be more plain, I worked at the Cheesecake Factory as a server. Before that, I worked at Olive Garden. Before that, I worked at Circuit City. Before that, I worked at Applebee's. And before that, well, during Applebee's, I was in college at Alabama A&M doing absolutely nothing with my life except for recording video in the club and chasing girls and stuff, man. Smoking weed, selling weed, drinking in the middle of the day. You drink them Colt 45s at 9 a.m. after your 8 a.m. class. You feel like Billy D. Williams. You know what I mean? You feel smooth as Billy D. in the middle of it, like the middle of the morning. So, man, I think I always knew I wanted to be something though. But I always found myself in the wrong environment and became what that environment told me I should be.
Hmm. So when you've had these environments, how early for yourself did you wake up to like, I have a gift, but I don't know where to place it, right?
Mhm.
Because like you said, you were working, separate jobs, you just getting your hustle on, making money. But like, what was the thing that kind of told you, I like this part of me, but I don't know where to put it. What was going on? Like, was there a moment? Was there a moment where you ran into the right person? What was that moment like?
Well, I never not knew where to put my gift. I
Mm,
always knew where I was going to put it. It may have been misplaced, but I was confident it was supposed to be there. So I have a gift of communication. So I thought I'd put my gift in rapping. Or as a communicator, I thought I'd put my gift in network marketing and trying to recruit people to get three, and then those three get three, then those three get three. So I was never confused about where to put my gift. And some people, I don't think anybody's confused about where to put you put your gift into your job. Period. I mean, your gift is there. You're gifted in some area, which means they're going to pay you for something because you're obviously good enough at something to make that person money. So that's why they hire you. Even if you're working at McDonald's, you might be dipping the fries. You're using your gift of like cognitive ability to be able to believe it or not. There are some people at McDonald's who brag about the fact that they are the perfect fry maker. Oh, you're gonna want some fries from me. Look, when I talk to my friends, yo, you might as well come when I because I make the fries. The salt shake is crazy. Like I just got a knack for this. I'm good at this. So my biggest um, life change came when I started to realize that I am a true follower of my environment, and I became okay with that. So all I need to do is just get in a better environment, like point blank and period. That's it. So it wasn't like I didn't. I was always confused. I was maybe over ambitious, where I would do something because I like it, and then I convince myself that I love it, or I do something that I even love, but then I fall out of love with the thing that I'm doing, and then I'll do something else that I think I love, and then I'll fall out of love with that thing. Then I stopped chasing love and just started chasing becoming a better me. How can I sit in this thing and apply my gift to something? It doesn't have to be the thing. It's like, yo, it's so crazy because I think people are relying on, like, they think they're going to fall asleep and they're going to wake up with a sticky note on their mouth that says, this is what you should be doing.
Right.
I think people think that because they're waiting on God to give them a sign. When, if they really read whatever religious book that they follow, that book is going to tell you that that God doesn't care if you are a millionaire or a high school basketball coach, as long as you're doing God's will. Which it never, yo, Jesus told this man, hey, you want to follow me? Sell all your possessions and follow me. He didn't say, yo, go build a business, bring some money back, and let me know, and now you can follow me. It didn't say that. And I don't think no religious book tells you that. Whatever God you pray to doesn't say that. So I just want to be excellent in whatever I put my hands to, whatever it does.
Man, so let's talk about.
I'm gonna start giving you shorter answers too, because my answers be long.
Hey, it's all right, man. Listen, it's all good. Let's talk about Cheesecake Factory. Cause Cheesecake Factory, like, so when I look at your story and I look at like your TEDx talks and the things that you do, when I look at David, I'm like, every common theme started with the Cheesecake Factory. It started there. And whether it was out of frustration that you was like, I gotta go get for mine, whether it was, yo, these shirts are just awesome. Like, give everybody an understanding why that environment, why that day-to-day thing, now that you look back at it now, that you can go, I'm glad I had the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
Because probably without that, right, it might have took me a little bit to get, to where I was like, I'm out. So give everybody understanding of kind of what that moment was and what being there and what it did for you to force you to go, I gotta make this better on what I'm doing, and then talk about the t-shirt brand, because I think it was dope. But we'll get into Black Wall Street later.
Yeah, absolutely. So I just realized that I wanted to get more from my job than a paycheck, or I want to get more from my job than the money or the tips. Can you see me? Am I on?
There you go. Yeah. Yep. You're on.
I blanked. I don't know what I was about. But I wanted to get more from my job than the tips. So I started getting really into personal development, listening to a lot of Jim Rohn, just a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of motivational speakers. And I realized that if I wanted to be better, if I wanted to like have a better situation in my life, I just have to be a better person. My friend Myron said something to me about a month ago. He said everyone is doing 100% of what they can do, given who they are today. So while I was at 25, I was given 100% effort being who I was, a young, dumb, ambitious 25-year-old that was always looking for money. I was just chasing the stuff. But I just started really adopting this philosophy. What can I learn here? So I would go to my tables, and every table I have to give the same presentation. Hello, my name is David Shands. The fish of the day is salmon and mahi mahi. It comes with broccoli and mashed potatoes. This is the soup of the day. What can I get you to drink? But I noticed that I would slur my words and I would say fish of the day as if it was one word, fish of the day versus fish of the day. And I knew I would be speaking and teaching and training all over the world. And I knew if I couldn't at least pronunciate my words, I'll never get to my goal. So dozens of times every single day, I get an opportunity to be more clear in my speech. Hello, my name is David. Welcome to the Cheesecake Factory. The fish of the day. No. I'm sorry. The fish of the day is. I go to the table. Hey, the fish of the day. The fish of the day is. Now that seems really, really small, and it seems really, really insignificant to the people that are listening right now. But that changed my life because it gave me an opportunity to get in the gym of pronunciating my words. And then I'm starting to see if we're working at the Cheesecake Factory, how can I sell more cheesecake? Not for the job, not for the tips, but if I couldn't sell somebody a $7 cheesecake, how the heck am I going to sell them a $25 t-shirt? So if I can get to the point where I can sell more cheesecakes and I can get them to buy more liquor and I can get that lady to get one, if I can convince this lady to get one more glass of wine at my table to have an amazing day, I knew I can get someone, instead of buying one t-shirt, they could buy two. I got way more from my job than money. But people are so focused on the fact that they hate their job that they're missing something. So that was like, once I realized that, everything changed for me.
Man, that is dope. And I know, I understand where you're coming from. I did somewhat of the similar thing that taught me that podcasting was going to be something that was always going to be in my life, because when I worked in corporate learning and development, we trained hundreds of people. Mm-hmm. And I was not interested in what the material was. I was interested in how people responded.
Yeah.
I wanted to get into the mind of the person who felt like they couldn't learn. Or how do you get somebody who walks in angry to get them to crack a smile, to get 100%. Them to relax, to be open to have a conversation. And somebody one day tapped me and was like, Chris, that's personal, that's organizational development, that's culture. That's understanding how to move person A to person B, right? Yep. So as you leveraged Cheesecake Factory, why t-shirts?
It's a really good question. I don't know, man, because it could have been anything. I think I was just in a space to where I was ready to become a more successful entrepreneur, and it could have been anything, bro. At that point, because I decided that I wasn't going to quit, because when I first started working at the Cheesecake Factory, I realized that I had been at that job for 10 months. I had been at the previous job for 10 months at Olive Garden. And then before that, I worked at Circuit City, and I was there for like 6 months. And I'm going back over my career. I'm like, dang, I never kept a job longer than 10 months. When I got the job at the Cheesecake, because at this point, I'm an ambitious entrepreneur, and I'm always trying something to make money. And some manager is always going to get on my nerves, and I'm going to figure, hey, I can make more money outside of this. I don't need this job. Well, when I realized that I've never kept the job longer than 10 months, my goals changed at that point. I said, I'm going to stay at this job for more than 10 months. I'm going to try to get to a year. And long story short, because there's a lot in that story, but to wrap up the story, I wound up being there for 6 years. But once I understood that I've been inconsistent previously, if it was socks, I'd have been consistently trying to figure out how to make socks. I'd have been better at selling socks. I'd have figured some stuff out about socks, and I left my job on socks. If it was real estate, I would have made my millions from real estate. If it was jackets, or if it was books, it was whatever at that point. When I became mature enough as an entrepreneurial-minded person to take care of the thing in my hand, it just happened. The thing in my hand at the time happened to be t-shirts. So, I think once you become ready and you are success, I'm going to keep it 100. It's really only like 3 or 4 things that will drastically change your life. Like 3 or 4 adjustments in your game that will drastically change your life. But some people aren't looking for the 3 or 4. So,
man, so you mentioned the whole, move of you decided to be consistent for 6 years. You stayed there, so you built this side business, right? Like you were going in. Help people understand the mentality though of I gotta go to work, but I also gotta go to work when I come home. Give me like a timeline. Like, what time are you waking up? What are you doing when you get home? Like, what things are you having to, like, give people an understanding of, like, if they're gonna have a side business, like what did that grind look like? And how did you start to see this as like, I can actually, like you gain your confidence with this thing and you could see yourself really breaking away at some point. But give people like a timeline. Like, what did the day look like when you got to run this business? Were you printing the shirts yourself? Were you having to come up with their own designs? Like, what that look like?
It wasn't super. It might not be what most people think it was, but I started building my business on my off days because I work all day on my job and then I'd be tired when I come home, and I probably would, I don't know, hang out with whoever I was dating at the time, and then I'm waking up at 12 o'clock to be to work at 4. I mean, that was my life at the Cheesecake Factory. So the only time I could commit was my off days. So even in my book, Dreams Are Built Overnight, there's a chapter in it called $100 off days, where my objective was to make $100 on my off day. If I could make $100 on each off day, that's an extra $200 a week. That's $800 a month. That was the grind. It was just hitting the goal. And sometimes when I get to $100, I take off and then I go kind of just do whatever with the rest of the day. So as what the life change came when I said I'm going to be consistent with this $100 off days. And I built my business 2 days a week. And then I called my boss like, hey, man, I'll still work 5 shifts, meaning I'll still work all 5 shifts, even if I got to do a double. But I need 3 days off instead of 2 because I knew if I could make $200 on 2 off days, if I had a third off day, I'd be able to make $300 a week, which is $1,200 a month. That would be cool. So I just worked doubles on one day and worked 3 other shifts, and I still got my 5 shifts in. They said, cool. So I kept doing that. I kept taking a day off and then working doubles. And by the time I actually quit, I wasn't really working that many days anyway. So that was my strategy.
Gotcha. So I want to go through what I like to call rapid fire words. I'm going to spit a word to you. You tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Okay? Commitment.
Do I give you a word or a phrase or what?
Up to you.
Whatever comes to my mind. Okay.
Yeah.
So the word is commitment. I see commitment. Okay. Here we go. Sacrifice.
Okay. Desire.
Want.
All right. Friendship.
Commitment.
Okay. Failure.
Learning.
Teamwork.
Necessary.
Patience.
Mandatory.
Excuses.
What does that mean? I don't know what that means, bro.
2 more. Debt.
Good and bad.
Last one. Faith.
Fear.
Okay. All right. So let's move forward. So David messing around. The business is growing. You meet this gentleman named Eric Thomas. Y'all get the vibing. He rocks your stuff, right? At what point do you look at all of what's happening in that moment and go, I got to literally break the brake pedal because I got to be all gas right now? Because you strike me as the guy that is like, when you see it, you got blinders on. You're that's it. I'm not doing nothing else. There's nothing else until we reach the goal, right? So what was that moment like when you were like, oh, this is it. Like there is nothing else for me, right? And then how did you ensure, right, that you could stay that way? Because a lot of people who build a successful side business or even try, they struggle a lot, but the struggle is the relationships around them. They struggle with, well, man, David, we used to kick it all the time. I don't never see David now. David over here, he in the lab, or he always saying he got something going on. And maybe you dating a girl and she's like, well, David ain't got no time for me because he over here. Give people an understanding of what's that's like when you've got that tunnel vision and why you're willing to make the sacrifices that you did.
Well, I mean, to answer, I guess, the friend thing, it wasn't like I had to cut any friends off. It was just I would always invite them to do this. Like I would invite them, like, yo, come on, man, let's come over here. Help me work on these t-shirt designs. Help me do this. Help me do that. Like I just come over here. Yeah, you want to go to the club, Dave? Nah, I'm working on this. Yo, can you come help me fold these shirts right quick, bro?
Right.
And then it wasn't like I cut them off. They just didn't want to come hang out with me. They didn't want to come help. And some people did, or they'll help for a little while. But, bro, like I said, man, that environment, you're around somebody like Eric Thomas and CJ and that whole crew, it's really hard to not work hard. You'd have to like literally try not to work hard being around them. So remember what I told you. Once you get in a certain environment, you are going to follow what happens. When in Rome, when in Rome, you do what the Romans do. So your Rome, for somebody that's listening, is drugs and alcohol, because that's what y'all do. Yeah, you know what's crazy? It's hard to do the right thing in the wrong environment. So let's say, for instance, that you don't drink. And I'm not saying drinking is bad. Okay, don't take this, but just follow the example, guys. Let's say you don't drink and you're in an environment where everybody orders drinks. It will make you a little uncomfortable not ordering a drink, especially when they be like, yo, you're not going to drink? Come on, it's my birthday. You're not going to let me drink it gets uncomfortable. So some people, even if maybe you do drink, but you're saying, yo, I'm just going to try to quit. But if everybody's ordering, it's hard to do the right thing in the wrong environment. Conversely, it's hard to do the wrong thing in the right environment. Imagine everybody at a table orders water, Coke, Sprite, lemonade. You really want to order a drink. What are you going to order?
Water.
Probably not a drink. It's hard. It's hard to get a drink when nobody else is drinking. It's hard to light up a cigarette when nobody else smokes around. It's hard. You are uncomfortable. I believe you can become rich by default. If you get around enough rich people, if you get around enough motivated people, you'll be motivated. You get around enough married people, you'll find a drive and find yourself married one day. But you are still single because look at your call log. Look at your text message list. Look at the environment you in. How are you going to do anything other than what you're doing in that environment?
Wow, man. Okay, so how then does David meet a Eric Thomas?
Working, brother. Golly. I'm not trying to give long answers, okay? This is just
it's all good. Hey, man,
there's
it's all
a story
good.
attached to everything
You're
in
the
my
guest. All right.
life. There's a story attached to everything. So that's funny, actually. I have a friend named Calvin, and Calvin has a friend named CJ. I went to college with Calvin. CJ went to high school and grew up with Calvin. Calvin buys a house in Atlanta. And when he buys a house to Atlanta, I live in Atlanta. And then CJ moves to Atlanta. So I start to see CJ at Calvin's house on a regular basis. And one day CJ calls me and says, "Hey, I see you keep wearing that Sleep is for Suckers brand. You always rocking it. I'm following what you're doing. You work like you grinded." I work with a guy named Eric Thomas, and the rest is history. He said,
Mm-hmm.
I want to get some of these shirts because he's doing this thing called Thank God It's Monday." At this point, I don't know who E is, but I start listening, and I'm like, yo, this is phenomenal. This man is a machine. I'm inspired. So the rest is history. He started wearing some of the shirts, and we became really really cool, and the rest is history. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it wasn't like I sent CJ some shirts. It's not like I was in their DM like, "Hey, I love your stuff." I'm grinding, and once you're working, people notice it. Other people that are working and grinding are attracted to that. They'll always seek out other people like them. So you probably know a bunch of podcasters, am I right?
Yep.
Because you podcast. If you are an entrepreneur, you're gonna find, no matter where you are, you're gonna find other entrepreneurs. Is what it is. So that's how the
Absolutely.
story came about.
Man, so I wanna fast forward and I want you to share the girl or the guy that right now is watching this and
Mm-hmm.
they're like, "Man, David, I hear you. I want to start this side business, but I just don't know. I'm not really sure if I should do it." Give Rico the
Mm-hmm.
give Rico the understanding that you have of why starting a side business is actually a good thing, even if it
Yeah.
fails.
Oh, especially if fails is a good thing, because I don't think people should start a side business. Well, I believe everyone should start a side business, but not necessarily out of money. And you're actually in a better position if you're not starting it out of necessity.
Mm-hmm.
So
Facts.
if you
Talk
have a
about it.
job and you got some money coming in, you are in the best position to start a business because it's not your livelihood. And you've got a little more time to learn who you are and learn yourself and be okay with failure and have time to analyze failure. And your back isn't up against the wall, meaning if you don't make a sale, your lights are going to get cut off. You got some time. The only problem is it doesn't work out that way because a lot of times you're comfortable. And comfort doesn't produce anything but sleepiness. Yo, you know what? You've never been like comfortable and relaxed and got up and said, "Woo, I'm ready to go grind now." You ever watch like 3 episodes of a series and got up like, "All right, I'm ready to grind now, baby." It don't it don't work that way. So, um, if if you are not starting a side business out of necessity, you're in a good position. If you do need to make some changes in your life, you're in a really good position because now all of the excuses that you would normally use, you can't even use them anymore. You can't, like, your back is against the wall, and a lot of people will do their best fighting when their back is against the wall. So I know what you're thinking, Dave. You said both of those positions are really good positions to be in because it is. And here's the thing: some people need to start a business even if they don't want to be a business owner, just so you can understand what it's like to expose yourself, about being consistent, about working hard, about figuring some stuff out. It's like I think people should put puzzles together because it keeps your mind working. Like, there's mad benefits to be an entrepreneur. Take 2 of those and call me in the morning. Take some entrepreneurship and call me in the morning.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Two capfuls. um, let's talk about. I wanna go just one more layer below that. Talk to me about one of the lowest points in your entrepreneurial journey. What was happening? What did you figure out in the middle of that terrible spot about yourself?
My lowest point as an entrepreneur. I honestly don't think I've had one because this is just for me because I mean when I have a really big win, I don't really celebrate, and
Mm,
it's just how I'm wired. I don't really celebrate like huge wins, and I don't get too depressed with low lows either because there literally just so much I have to be grateful for, man. Like I can't even explain it. My mom instilled gratefulness in me, and she always let me know that I'm in a good position. If we don't have lights, she'll always remind me that there are some people who don't have a house. It's cold outside, isn't it? I'm like, yes, mommy, it's cold in here too. But imagine being outside. Do you want to be outside or do you want to be inside? I want to be inside. Well, the lights will be on tomorrow, but you're blessed.
mm.
And when you see other people, yo, go to Jamaica, man. Go to Jamaica. I'm talking about from the airport where people's profession is to ask people for money. And when they wake up in the morning, their objective isn't to get 100 likes on a page, on a picture. Their objective is to eat that day. I'm not in that position. Yo, we're in a space right now that if you want a job and you don't have a job, it's because you don't want a job. Everybody's hiring. And jobs are paying more than they've ever paid. You don't have to go homeless. You don't have to struggle right now. So whether I make multiple millions or I'm a trash truck driver, I don't know. I'm blessed, bro. I'm blessed. So I can't say that I've had some down moments. And again, that might just be me and the way that I'm wired. So I might not be the best person for that particular question, but I'm blessed, man.
No, I
I've
think,
had this attitude when I was working at Applebee's. I'm blessed.
but that's
I'm
the
in
reason
college,
why I
broke
think,
college student, bro. A
yeah.
broke college student working at Applebee's. I got money because I work at Applebee's. I made $50 in tips today. I can go eat something. Well, in that time I go smoke, but you get what I'm saying. I was blessed. I was blessed.
No, but I think you're actually the right person to ask because a lot of times the perspective is um, I'm not checking all my boxes today. So then people go and cry in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I read Will Smith's book, and there was a portion in there he was talking about when he realized how ungrateful he was because they did I Am Legend. It broke every record. And he asked his guy that called him when the record got broke and said, well, what do we have to do to hit the higher number? And the guy hung up on him
Mm.
because he's like, you just broke every record, and you're asking what I had to do to make it that number, right?
Yeah.
So I think you're definitely the perfect person to ask. Let's switch gears because we're gonna wrap up here and honor your time. How did the marriage help and put you in an understanding of what all is going to be to be an entrepreneur and married? Because you are already an entrepreneur. Now you get married. Give people an understanding of some of the things that you had to strategically think through. Now that I'm married, I've got a little one and she's gorgeous. And like what things have you had to learn? Like what things have you had to figure out? How are you managing that, demanding, yo, the business is up. Like we
Yeah.
out here, right? But you also know home also got to be up, right?
Yeah.
I've
100%.
always heard like you don't ever want to be a public success and a private failure, right? So how are you managing that? What you learning?
Um. Well, it was a really good thing for me in terms of marriage because I wanted to be home. I don't want to. I don't like. You can't make a commitment and then like just still be out in the streets all night and keep working till 10, 11, 12 o'clock. You can't do that. So My objective now is being home by like 5 o'clock every day, 4 or 5 o'clock, a lot of times much earlier. But what that forced me to do is to accomplish a lot more in a smaller bit of time. And a lot of times I would spend a lot of time doing things that don't move the needle. But when you got to be home by 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock or 3 o'clock, or like tomorrow, my wife's getting her hair done, and don't ask me why she's going to be gone from 9 to 5. I don't understand
I
that.
ain't figured that part
But
out either.
what? So I'm like, yo, what is going on here? But so I'll be with the baby tomorrow. But it forces me to get more done, more important things done in a shorter period of time. And once I realized that I was spending a whole lot of day doing a whole lot of nothing, when I could just pick up the most important things that I need to do, those are the things that move the needle. So I actually became more productive when I had less time to do it. So, and now I've automated my life to where I the work is optional. Like doing extra stuff is optional. And I've adopted this philosophy for the last 3 years. I'm gonna do all that I can today, the rest I'll do tomorrow. And that wasn't always my philosophy. My philosophy was, oh, I gotta get this done. I'm like, there are more important things in life than making more money. I don't care if I don't have no more. I would care, obviously, but it's not a big deal. It's not like I'm going to chase money. Like somebody wanted me to do this. They wanted to pay me to come out to LA to do a bunch of events and stuff like that, and we're gonna make some money. And I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm straight. I don't want to go because I don't want to spend that much time on my baby. Listen, the last time I was away from my baby for 2 weeks, and I came back and she had two teeth. Like she been trying to
Mm.
teeth forever. She had two teeth. I said, "Oh, I'm not leaving her that long ever again. I don't care how much money you pay me. I don't care if I stay exactly here. I know people say, yo, you shouldn't get comfortable. I'm good right here as long as I can watch my baby get older. But with the time that I do have to work, bro, I maximize that stuff. So that's how I set up my life.
So talk to us about it. Give us the rundown. What time does David
Yeah.
wake up? What is he doing? What's the one two things that he's ensuring that, hey, it's got to get done, because now you got a team, you got people that's waiting on you, you've got responsibilities, you've got things that are like, I'm the one that's got to make the decision. I'm the CEO. Can't nobody else make this decision. What's the day looking like?
I don't make a whole lot of decisions, brother. I ain't gonna lie to you. So here's the thing: I have the morning meetup, right? So it's an organization we gather every single morning. So, and we have a book club attached to the morning meetup. So every day I wake up at 6:30. I get out of the bed. I go to the next room, and I read the 8, 9, 10 pages that we are reading in that book in that day. And by the time I finish that, I either like kind of take a shower and then go downstairs to my office and be on the call by 7:45. Do the morning meetup. We're done by 9, and then the rest of the day is whatever I have to do that day. That is the static part of my day from 6:30 to 9 in the morning. Every Wednesday we'll record podcasts, and those are really my only obligations in life.
I love it,
That's it.
man. I love it. I love it. So, I'm gonna share a quote with you that I heard. Tell me how this resonates with you. The quote says, "The man who works all day will never have time to make money."
Mm, that's
You
a
are the
fact.
type of person who, you're strategic in a lot of stuff that you're trying to get done. Right now, for those of you who are watching, at the time of this recording, David has a goal of 10,000 people in the morning meetup. We got about, like, I think we hit 700 one morning. I can't remember.
Yeah, we're a little over 800 right
Yeah, a
now.
little over 800 now. So So the
You
goal
check
is
number.
10,000, right? Y'all
It was
probably don't know.
805 last time I looked, but it
That's
goes
right.
up and down. Yeah.
So talk to me about that. What does that quote mean to you when you think about what you're trying to achieve and the way you, as you said, you put the most, you do only the things that really move the needle.
Yeah, you can't work your way to millions. You could work your way to six figures for sure, but you can't work your way to millions and time freedom. You just can't. Like it's going to cause some sort of partnerships, strategy, something, but you can't work your way there, right? The more you work, the less money you have the ability to make,
Hmm.
believe it or not. Because that means other people aren't doing the work that you're doing. If other people are doing the work that you're doing, then they are making money for you. And you have to have as many things working for you as possible to make millions. Does that make sense?
Break that down. Break that down.
So I I could go out and just tell a whole bunch of people to buy my products or service, or I can take some money from my profits and pay somebody that's running ads to the products or service. Or I could spend hours trying to figure out how to run ads and I actually run the ads myself. But then I wouldn't have time to go out and brand it. I wouldn't have time to go do Instagram lives. I wouldn't have time to go out and network if I'm spending all day trying to figure out how to run ads. When people sign up, there's a process that happens where you get an email and then you get a link and the system does the work for you. Now, if I had to personally call or personally email everybody that bought the product and make sure they had the product, I can't go out and market and I can't go out and network and I can't go promoting the business. I would have to be in it. The more you work, the broker you'll be, period.
Hmm.
You can't work your way to millions. You just can't.
Hmm. Man. Told y'all gems tonight. So for those of y'all who listening,
In actuality, the more you work, the less you'll make. And that's literally across the board. So think of any job you had. Well, give me a job that you've worked.
corporate learning and development, executive
Good.
trainer.
I don't even know nothing about that, but the person who was either your manager or the person who paid you worked less but made more.
Facts. 100%.
That happened in every job that you've ever worked.
Total
They
facts.
worked less and made more. But they didn't make more because they worked less. They made more because they became more valuable in what they do, and they don't have to do as much to provide the value to make more money. So the job that you're doing, let's say the person that's dumping the fries, you have to physically dump the fries. The manager makes more than the person that's dumping the fries. Would you agree?
Facts.
Because it doesn't take a lot of skill to dump the fries, but it does take a skill to make sure that the person that dumps the fries actually does their job. It's called management.
Mm-hmm.
Can I get the person to dump the fries when they're supposed to dump the fries? Can I get the cook to put the burger in the box the way that they're supposed to put it in the box? Can I get the cashier to ring up the orders correctly? It's a skill set being able to manage that. They work less, but they make more because they're more valuable. And they're not using their hands, they're using their head. And guess what? Their manager makes significantly more than that manager and works significantly less because now I have to train the manager to make sure that the workers actually do their job. It's not as physically intensive, but it's a higher level of skill set. So some people here don't need to be grinding trying to make money this year. Some of you need to lay a foundation in 2022 for 2023. There are certain skills you need to acquire. You need to become more valuable this year. And then next year, you go make your six figures. Next year, you go make your seven figures. That's it.
Man. So David, this takes me to the next question. Why on this run that you've been on the last 3 or 4 years, the focus, the dedication, the effort, you're seeing the progress, you're seeing some wins. Why turn around and teach?
Um, because one, I love it.
Okay.
I absolutely love it, and it's very selfish play because the more you teach, the more you'll retain. So I go to these high level masterminds, and my objective is to retain the information. And the only way for me to retain it is to teach it. If you give it to me and I hold something long enough, eventually I'll lose it. But if you give me something and I hold it and I give it to somebody else, and then I give it to somebody else, and then I give it to somebody else, it's burned in my brain at this point. I taught it so often. So I absolutely love teaching, which I don't have to, by the way, because like with the podcasting, like I get a chance to interview people. And if this video is monetized, you'll make money forever. Now it's not going to be as much as it is going to be on the front end, but you never know. If if my brand does something very significant, this video is going to be more viewed. And it might happen a year later after the interview. It might go crazy. You never know. I might have said something in this interview to get me canceled. And eventually somebody's going to pull the clip and they're going to try to cancel me. Then they'll come back to this video and everybody will watch it. And then you'll make another few $1,000s off of it. This is cool, man. This is you thinking with your head. This is being able to monetize your personality. Because now this video will always pay you. And if you do a bunch of videos that always pay you, you'll never have to work for money. You just keep doing this and you get better and better and better and better and better and better and better at it.
Absolutely, man. And we actually are gonna be in the same mastermind. I just squared away with Myron, so we'll see you there.
Oh, welcome to the family.
Yes, sir. So lastly, to keep our time honorable, I want to ask you this. First question is, what keeps David up at night? Second question is, why does David keep getting up in the morning and grinding as hard as he does?
Well, my daughter's the only person to keep me up at night. I don't got nothing deep, bro. She just wakes up and just kicks me in my face on a regular basis, bro. It's crazy. She still sleeps in the bed with us. We don't know how to get her out. Every now and again, but she just kicks me in the face. So that's what keeps me up at night. Nothing else keeps me up at night. I go to sleep. And then I wake up. And I think what wakes me up every day at 6:30 is the habit of waking up at 6:30. It's not, I don't got nothing. I told everybody I would read the book that we're all reading, and I made a commitment to my community. And it was rough getting up at first, but once you do it, that's who you become now. So I don't necessarily need an alarm clock anymore because my body said, "Oh, this is what we do." So those are my answers to those.
Well, man, listen, David, this has been incredible. Thank you. I will say this will be a stop in the journey, and then one day we're gonna come right back and go, man, look what things are now, right? Because you always on the up. Give everybody how they can find you. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and help you out right now. Let me tell y'all where y'all need to be. There is something called the morning meetup. If you've never heard about the morning meetup, let me give you an understanding. Imagine if 800 people every single day got together who are all building their entrepreneur journey, actually came together to talk about it, came together to learn. Here's something that I have found out in life. If you actually get around the right people and listen and leverage the information, you can collapse time. Right? You can actually collapse time. That's what's cool about the morning meetup. So you need to hop into the morning meetup. The morning meetup, you can go to themorningmeetup.com. You can register. Registration is only $1. That's right. You can actually jump in for $1. Check it out. You can see what's going on. After that, you will be charged a monthly fee. It ain't that big of a deal because $79 to have access to a mastermind that probably should cost about 10 to 12 times much that I think is important. And guess what? It's also now going to be an opportunity for you to collaborate, to hear, to get stretched. And by the way, the guests that come through there, super dope. I don't think you're going to be able to grab these people no other way. I just can't see it. And so it's a really great community. I think everybody should hop into the morning meetup. David, did I do right? Did I get it right, brother? Did I miss something?
Oh, absolutely, 100%. That was beautiful. That was beautiful.
Well, share with them how they can find you, man.
And tell me to click the link below, because at this point they're supposed to click your affiliate link, man. Come on, have I taught you nothing?
You right. You right. You absolutely right. Tell everybody where they can find you, man.
Yeah, you can definitely find me every single morning at the morning meetup. My Instagram is at sleepisforsuckers with a number 4, SUCKERS. And go listen to the podcast, man. Social Proof Podcast. Social Proof Podcast. We're actually the number 1 Black podcast in the entrepreneurial category. There's only like 1, sometimes 2 African American hosted podcasts in the top 20 entrepreneurial category, and we're consistently top 10, ranging anywhere between like 4 and 7. So check out the Social Proof Podcast. We need you to like, subscribe, and share, comment, leave a review. 5 stars. Let's get it.
Let's go, man. Well, listen, man. David, thank you. Hey, for listening, thank you. Guess what? You can still share this. You can go tell somebody. And here's what I would like for you to do. Go follow David. Follow me. You can find me at @ChristopherWilliams on IG. And here's what I want you to do. What'd you get from this? Drop a comment. Tell us what you got. But more importantly, tell us what you're going to do. Don't just have a goosebump moment without any action. Y'all know me. Go take some massive action and go get things cooking. So, man, David, thank you so much. Y'all, thank you so much for watching. It's been The World According to Chris, man. Side business. Let's go.